So there's different ways people with autism and non-autism describe each other. Are being described with an autism speak language. You have neurotypical and neurodiverse. I'm going to stay away from that because the more I read, the more I found someone feels a little bit offended by neurotypical and like they're not different and have different parts of them. So I'm going to say typical, just an average person, and non-typical, not an average person. I'll keep it real simple for the discussion. So being someone that could work with just anybody, when it comes to that, I found that because I don't walk in my emotions, I'm not constantly in how I feel, I'm not measuring others by how I feel. So when I'm raised and I'm being told, you're not smiling, you're not nice, you didn't say hello to so and so, I think so and so would have wanted some of that. So I was conditioned to constantly worry about others' feelings, which many people like me are. We're constantly told what someone else wants, what someone else feels, what someone else needs. And the things that we like or need, like quiet, a separate space of our own. And we usually don't require a lot because we're not in, we like fashions. We are on a spectrum. So I'm talking about a very small population, and right now, just myself and how it affects me. So not needing a whole lot from other people to feel good about myself, I'm very self-reliant. And that's not quite understood from people who do use their environment to bounce off good or bad. It's called conforming. And what I found that when you have these symptoms and you get through life, you're kind of socialized through everything. Someone's telling you what to think, what to feel. You can't really do what feels good to you. So, and they can't really understand how do you feel good without having someone to confirm that. Like that group is doing that, or and then we love doing that. Whether they like it or not, they can kind of conform to that. Whereas if you're a person that have the spectrum, if it doesn't feel natural to you, you're acting. You are literally watching the people around you or remembering what was said to you that you have to be different. Like, okay, I'm going to have to smile, but I don't really know why. So you smiling, and then your behavior don't follow up with the smile. Well, she's smiling, she's happy. Why she's not doing what happy people do? Because we're imitating. We don't know. We don't know. It's not natural. Just like it's not natural for you to want us to be on our own. A typical person might feel neglected, or you don't like me, you don't want me because you need time alone to just decompress and read and be by yourself. Whereas someone who's non-typical is like, yes, I need this time to fill myself back up with energy because I've just spent it. Now, those two types of thinkings are very hard to explain and help someone to get to understand. And that will take a lot of talking. So I'm going to try to keep it brief to see if there's any interest in learning more about this. But I do really understand how people who are more typical get overwhelmed with with believing that we don't feel as deep as we feel. They can't understand that whatever they feel sad. When we feel sad, we feel it 10 times more. But we're not looking externally outside of ourselves for someone to participate in that. We need people, but we don't need them all the time. We like people, but we don't want them, just in our space as it fits their need. We need some structure. I need to know if you're coming over, when you're coming over, and how I feel about that. Now, typical people might call that boundaries. But because their feelings and what they need and the way they need it is so different, it's often getting placed in a area of saying you're pushing me away. So asserting yourself, saying what I want, what I like, what I need, is not what they want, like, or need. You're rejecting them. Odd, right? But that's normal for a typical person. We don't play off how they feel. We have a world that we live in and we love it. We just want you to chill out. Let us live, We're fine. We'll come to you. You don't have to ask me 10 times a day, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing the same thing because 9 or 10 times we're doing the same thing we usually do. So if you keep asking that, we don't really know what you want. A good way, I told someone recently to talk to me like I'm 5, 4. Don't ask me what I'm doing. Say, are you in there watching TV? Are you getting ready to get ready for work tomorrow? Are you tell us what you want to know, because those open-ended questions are exhausting to even try to figure out what you want. So communication is tough, and what we respond to could be something completely different, and how we respond to it is different as well. So here's this is another of a little short stint of talking about this late onset, not late onset, but this late diagnosis for an adult woman with autism. See you soon.